I used to think about the qualities of light and dark. Is the beginning and final essence in the universe total light or complete dark? Does light make heat or does heat make light? Well, when I was young, I loved to think about such things. Now I think that complete and total light would be painful, and absolutely dark sounds frightening. I've never been drawn to the hot lights of deserts or to the cold black of a starless night, rather to twilight colors, to in-betweens. Sureties make me unsure. When I started to understand my heart, I knew that light can be without heat. A light that touches your innermost job is the soft and golden light that comes from a lover's smile or the waves of the sea, gently lapping and inviting shore.
Thank you. This morning, we're going to take some time for a special ritual. And it's really special because it was developed by Unitarian Universalists to be shared in our congregations. So the Unitarian Universalists of Santa Clarita Valley, California, created this holiday called Luminescence. They wanted us to celebrate together and give UUs a new perspective on their faith tradition. The first Luminescence service was held at their church in February 2007. I think February is a fine time for a new holiday, don't you? I do. So you see that we have our table set here with 5 candles. This one's just extra. I found it at Community Aid. It's amazing. This is made out of a bunch of other candles. It's fantastic. Take a look at it when you get a chance. But each of these 5 candles has a meaning. Ahead of it, the first candle that we already lit over on the side is for source. There's an interior light within all of us. It helps us to guide our journeys and to guide our decision making. We might think of it as the still small voice or the spirit of life. But this light draws us into our own spiritual journeys. Glenda Nowakowski, a member of the UUs of the Santa Clarita Valley, has written a poem for each stanza. So here is with a stanza with a verse for each candle. Here is the verse for source. Alone, I trudge through the darkness, hope dwindling by the hour. A glimmer in the sky calls to me. It's too dim to be the moon. A star? Stars travel in constellations. Where are its siblings? Where are mine? So now the second candle is for recognition. You can light them in whatever order. There you go. Brilliant. If there is a light residing with a spirit residing within us all, this candle is to honor recognizing that that light exists within all of us. You want to take turns? There we go. Thank you so much. Even and especially those who may appear on very different paths from us. But the second candle is recognition. We are recognizing the light within others, even and perhaps especially those who appear to be on very different journeys than our own. We want to honor the fact that something drew us all to the same path, that we're all here in this congregation. There's a richness that we only get when we have a diversity of experiences and hear a number of stories. So here's the verse for recognition. I follow the flickering beacon. As the darkness lifts, I notice that I'm part of a crowd of travelers, all with their own needs and desires. Are we all headed for the same destination? A friendly voice calls out, we're taking a break. Do you want to join us? So the third candle, already lit, again, perfect, we're all ahead of schedule, is for reflection. Sometimes our journeys take us inward. If we hold our own light up to a mirror, what might be revealed? Can we love what we see, even as we acknowledge the parts that we might want to shift or change? Here's the verse for reflection. We sit by the side of a pond. I look into the water. The face that stares back cannot possibly be mine, haggard and careworn, so little to show for it. I can't believe I've strayed so far from the path I thought was mine. No more self-pity, time to move on. And the fourth candle that we lit over here is for refocus. Remember, light can be magnified like in a microscope to draw our attention to specific things in the world and in ourselves that we'd like to change or highlight. This is where the inner work of love turns into the outer work of justice. So here's that poem verse for refocus. We laugh and share stories, bathed in the soft, glowing light of dawn. The ghosts that haunted us in the dark show themselves to be but shadows. Faces once lined with worry and care shine again with anticipation of the better days to come. And so the fifth and final candle is for renewal. We renew our commitment to ourselves and to each other here within our shared community and in the larger world. We have considered the light within ourselves and within each one of us. We have used this to reflect on our inner work and draw ourselves into outer work that allows us to live our values in the world. We renew our dedication to our faith, to our path, and our community. Here's the verse for renewal. We have arrived. Kindred spirits welcome us with embraces and smiles. The beacon shines bright as day, illuminating the new world we seek. Our efforts may not bear fruit until we're gone, but that's all right. There are more on the way, and we will greet them with love.
Our reading this morning is a page of my book, Working in the Light, and the page is called 10,000 Ways by the book's author, Starsha Dawn, who is me. After 10,000 unsuccessful tries to develop a storage battery, Edison was known to have said that he didn't fail, he just found 10,000 ways that it didn't work. What profound spiritual beauty is contained in this simple comment? Edison, the inventive genius who told us genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, shows us why he succeeded where so many others failed. He refused to give up. He trusted that the goal he sought was attainable, and all he had to do was find the right path to it. He truly had faith in what he was doing. He was also wise enough to see all those unsuccessful attempts not as failures, but as knowledge gained, paths explored. That knowledge helped him to refine his thinking and direct his efforts in the right direction. When we think of Edison's stunning achievements, the phonograph, the light bulb, the motion picture, and over 1,000 other inventions, we seldom consider the enormous amount of work involved in each accomplishment. By his belief and through his determination, he willed into existence those many marvels. He made himself a ready and open vessel into which Spirit could put that all-important 1% inspiration. Can we trust enough to keep going on our path, believing our goals are attainable and trusting that there is no failure unless we give up? Can we say with a smile, I'm getting closer. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
When I was a kid, I marveled at my father's ability to recite poetry from memory. At the drop of a hat, he would rattle off Poe's The Raven or Tennyson's The Charge of the Light Brigade. He explained to me at some point that he used to get extra credit in school if he could recite a poem by heart, and some of them were still rattling around in there. And that's quite a phrase, to know something by heart. To be so assured of its knowledge residing within you that you can bring it out again and again from that deep place. I don't have many poems by heart, and at least one cannot be shared from the pulpit. But there's one that I do break into pretty frequently, although maybe not as often as I used to, and my relationship with it has changed over time. Maybe some of you know this one. It is by Edgar Guest, and it is called It Couldn't Be Done. Anyone know that one? Okay. I don't know how much of this I can do without looking at the script. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he did a thing. He buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quiddit, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin, just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. I did not recite that from memory. I got like 4 lines in. Well, that certainly has that, everything is solved, right? That's every problem sorted, right? Just throw yourself in with a grin. Every problem, we can knock it out, right? What about the 10,000 ways and more not to do it? What about the times that we do fail? Because we do, of course. It's part of what I loved about our reading today, both delivered and written by Karen. Can we trust enough to keep going on our path, believing our goals are attainable and trusting that there is no failure unless we give up? Can we say with a smile, I'm getting closer. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. 10,000 and more ways that won't work. Taking the wisdom of that which has gone before, for good or for ill, and meeting it not with shame, or with anger, but with a real sense of curiosity. What is this wrong way teaching me, right? So luminescence, this thing we did today, is not the first, nor surely will it be the last, time that Unitarian Universalists have decided to make up their own holiday. It's not actually terribly common to find this celebration in our congregations, although it has moved and taken hold in a few places outside of California and the Pacific region over the years. When I came here to York and learned about it, that was the first I'd ever heard of it. It was entirely new to me, and I didn't love it. Confess that right now. Why did we need another holiday? Specifically, another candle lighting holiday, right? And also the blessings and some other resources that I found on the website that the lovely folks at Santa Clarita Valley have put up, and this is no shade on them, but some of those resources to me felt interminably long and wordy. And my goodness, we UUs do love to be wordy. And yes, I include myself in that statement. I know that decrying our wordiness during my own homily is a particularly delicious irony, right? But stick with me for a moment. There are as many ways to do spiritual seeking, as many ways to do it both well and poorly, as there are beings to undertake the work. And yes, as far as I'm concerned, it can be done poorly. I love our reflection today, and I do think there's such a thing as failure. I also think that giving up is not the same as failing. If we've learned again and again that something doesn't work for us, we are allowed to stop or change our approach or leave it alone for a good long time before returning to it. But as I have pared down the word, and believe me, that was pared down. I have pared down the words of this ritual over these last 3 years. I've become pretty fond of it, actually. Look at this light that we each have. What will happen if we just sit around and have it and don't do anything with it? Or perhaps if we don't allow it to invite us into doing more, learning more, defending our values, living our values in the world more. To acknowledge light and its equally necessary partner, darkness, within each of us. And to also acknowledge that we can do more with that when we are together. That can be powerful. And maybe when we're all caught up in our words, y'all, I've thrown 3 poems at you today, and none of them were even the reading. Stepping back in the middle of the words to consider a ritual of action, a symbol of the constant development of our curiosity and our faith throughout our lives, maybe that is something we really need. How many of us have our faith by heart? How many of us can speak deeply from within on the ways that Unitarian Universalism has called us to grow, to consider the stories of others in new ways, to live our values more fully in our daily lives? And that's one reason I do love that JETPIG acronym so much from our Article 2 revision that is under consideration. We consider the ways that we name our values and are called to do so in religious community together, then it becomes easy for me to say our faith holds love as the highest value and invites us to express that love as our lived values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. I have that by heart. So even without all of the poems and the 10,000 ways of trying and learning and trying again, maybe today just consider the 5 invitations of the luminescence ritual. There are 5 fingers on our hands, most of us, right? Maybe when we're feeling stressed or anxious or angry or somehow separate from those things that we hold of highest worth, Remember, that's what worship means. We're declaring these things of high worth. Maybe you could take a breath, or tap your hands, or close your eyes and count off on your fingers. Source, inside. Recognition, others. Reflection, refocus, renewal. Source, recognition, reflection, refocus, renewal. We have it, we seek it, we attain it together. Just buckle in with a bit of a grin, knowing the seeds you plant will benefit so many others you won't even know. So may it be.
From the light of days remember, burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. Let the fire of commitment sets our minds and soul ablaze. Let our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, let our promise find fulfillment and our future can begin. The stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, let our promise find fulfillment and our future can begin. From the streets of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Rouse aroused.
We extinguish his flame, but not by his truth, the warm community, or fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
So we have a chalice extinguishing song that we'd kind of like to share with you. We don't expect you to sing the whole thing, but it has a refrain. So maybe by the third time the refrain comes back, you'll be brave enough to join us. It's called Pass on the Light. And it's by Cliff Harden. So I'm going to have the choir stand because they know it pretty well. And you can lean into them and watch this text and join singing with us.
See one tiny spark, still small and bright, and hands cupped around to shield its light. A single flame, born of desire, faces turned toward it goes. Pass on the light, pass on the light, within these walls, steady and strong. Pass on the light, pass on the light, from night to dawn, carry it on. And still it shines on, year unto year, from one tiny spark to big and clear, each generation lighting our way, forward bright through the night. Pass on the light, pass on the light, within these walls, steady and strong. Pass on the light, pass on the light, from night to dawn, carry it on.
Night to dawn, carry it on. We have had light as a part of our time here together, and we know that when we kindle it together, it can inspire us, feed us for the week ahead. So whatever accomplishments or failures await you in the week ahead, know that we can learn and grow from them all and take the light of our community out with you into the world. So may it be.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from